2019, unbelievable season. 1,380 yards rushing, 529 receiving yards, and that included missing a couple of games with suspension, which was, if I recall, a bit of uh, like an unusual situation, which didn't really fit for you, did it?
Yeah, no, yeah, I got tested for positive for performance enhancing substance, which was really tough. I mean, throughout my career, especially through the 16 year, like 2016 to 2019, I was playing really well and got tested immensely. Like I think I got tested probably over 30 times in that 3 year period or 4 year period. And that year alone, I had six tests and actually one 8 days before the positive test too. So when this substance came up in my in my test, I did everything I could to find the resource or find the source of it. Sorry, and ultimately fell short. But again, you're playing unreal. At that point, I was the MOP candidate for the season, and I actually played two games going through this appeal process, and that was the hardest part for me, more than anything, because I knew what was coming. I knew that I was kind of hitting dead ends with all the research and sending samples away to all the things I was ingesting, and just hoping that something would come up that I could kind of clear it. Either way, I was still going to get suspended. But having something to kind of clear your name was a big motivator for me, because again, I've worked so damn hard to get to where I've been at, and you're finally, you're finally crushing it, and you're doing the great things, and of course, something comes up when you're at the top of the mountain. And yeah, it really put me in a really dark space. I was in a marriage at that point that wasn't the best marriage either, and my friend circle around me was just kind of crumbling, and life was just really, in all aspects, just like down in the dumps, and really just going down the toilet. And then yeah, we win the Grey Cup, and we get MVP, and all the great things with that, and then boom, COVID hits, and it was really just a really dark place for me, and one that took a lot to get out of, and years to get out of, to be honest with you. And but again, adversity shows your true colors. There was a point where I was having suicidal thoughts, and didn't want to wake up the next morning, and was just really depressed and alone, and just lots of heavy drinking, and isolating myself from the world. And yeah, it was a scary place for me. Really a place that I would never want to wish on anyone. But I was thankful to have a chosen few people that were kind of in my corner, and help get me out of that rut, along with just going and talking to professional help, and I think the biggest thing with going and talking to the sports psychologist was just unpacking and unloading, all my emotions and feelings, and I literally just cried. I just cried my first session was an hour and a half, and I think I probably cried for an hour and 29. I think she asked me one question, and I just flushed everything out. And one of the things that I always kind of talked about and thought, and she's like, pull up an old picture of yourself, playing football, and the joy that it gave you, and you need to go find that again, and find that fire in your belly that got you here, and accept that this is here to stay, and there's nothing you can do about the past. All you can do is put your best foot forward, and getting to being back to the man that you were, and overcoming the things you went through.
A lot of us go through the dark times, those tough times, and having this. It's just having that ability, trusting and reaching out, and it can make such a difference. Just speaking up, let people know where you're at, and then you realize that there's a lot more help than I remember being in a dark place, and not believing that there's any way out, and but you reach out, you talk to some people, and you find that there is a way out. There is a light at
Yeah.
the end of that tunnel.
And I think too, as athletes, and especially in the football world, it's such a this mantra: you need to be tough. You have to wear this mask and have this facade, And it's really tough for men, I think in particular, but male athletes to let that guard down and be vulnerable. And it is scary because if you show that you're mentally unstable or you're mentally weak at a moment in time, then they might not have that trust in you that you can go and perform. So I mean, there's lots of risk with that, but I mean, at the end of the day, what's more important, being on the field or being healthy in your everyday life? And I think that's a tough balance that a lot of athletes would argue that being a god on the field or the ice or the court or whatever the sport they play is the most important thing in the world, because when you're in that state and you're killing it, you feel untouchable. But at the end of the day, we're all humans and we're not untouchable. We're not invincible. And we do have life after football, life after sport. We do have to go home to our families, and we still have to, live healthy lives after we're done playing. And I think when you put that in perspective and you realize how important, these issues are, and dealing with them, when you have the access, when you have the ability to do this and still overcome it. It's definitely a lot of weight to carry, but I think it's very crucial that people hear these stories, and they can have the courage, and swallow their pride, to find the right resources and talk to someone, because it's going to make them a better athlete. It's going to make them a better father, a husband, partner, a better friend, a better son. And it's crucial that we deal with these issues and stop burying them, because if you keep burying them, it's a slippery slope, and it can get scary for a lot of folks, for sure.